Hello, everybody. The beautiful Army of Light Earth Division, the boots on the ground. It's Shauna L. Francis, and today is March 12th, 2025. Welcome, everybody. We have started a new chapter officially. I have a lot of channeling to walk through from the Order of Melchizedek. This is me officially in this witness role as explained in the Bible, Revelation chapter 11. Here we go, team. Really officially, I'd started this 1,260 days with Melchizedek as the witness, bringing forth these prophecies back in July of 2024. So we are a little ways into this, about 2 3/4 of a year left to do this work. There are a few things that I want to talk about before we get into what Melchizedek had to say. If you're new to this channel, welcome. I am a conscious embodied channel for the Order of Melchizedek. They come to me, through me, with information for humanity in these times of ascension. We have a lot going on here, and that's an understatement. About 6 weeks ago, the Order of Melchizedek named the Antichrist and they named the false prophet. So how's everybody doing with that information? We talk more about these two characters today, what's going on, and what you can do as a light worker in these crazy times. All right. I am letting you all know that I'll be doing a live interview tomorrow, March 13th. It's Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. I'm going to put the link in the description below if you'd like to join us live. This is a friend of mine, Sharon Sananda Kumara. I've known her for a long time. She was one of my original mentors when I started my awakening process 6.5 years ago. So she wants to talk about Queen Elizabeth. She hasn't really been up to speed with a lot of the work that we've been up to the last few years. So we're going to dive into that and whatever else wants to come up. But it'd be great to see you there live. And if you miss it, I will post a link to her YouTube channel where she will have it posted. Okay, so it's been a while. Here's another thing I want to talk to you guys about. Melchizedek today, kind of as I got done with the transcription for these channelings for tonight, said that they're ready for me to start putting this content up on X, formerly known as Twitter, right into the lion's den. I haven't used Twitter or X much at all, just a little bit here and there. It's been a long time. Is there anybody out there who's watching who knows their way around X and who could help me with a strategy for how we want to go about this? And Melchizedek is saying, let's go loud. They want me to go loud on X. So talking about Elon Musk as the Antichrist and Donald Trump as the false prophet on X. So I am putting my feelers out for anybody out there who watches, who knows this content, who could maybe help me with a strategy for X. I would really appreciate it. Please email me. That'd be the best way. Shauna@shaunalfrancis.com. Okay, thank you. Another thing that I've done, I just wanted to let you know, is I went ahead and I moved whatever I have left in the stock market out. So I made that call today to sell that off. I'm going to put it into a money market account here at my local credit union that I use. I just thought, and this is my personal opinion, and I asked the guides, I said, probably not a bad idea. I'm like, I don't see this getting better for a while. I don't see the stock market rebounding. I don't see it kind of steadying itself and growing anytime soon. And there's not a whole lot of money left in there, but I went ahead and took it out. So I wanted to let you know that. The guides aren't saying that, this is going to happen tomorrow, but they have predicted that, sometime this year we will have some kind of a major financial collapse. And they've also predicted, along with many other channels out there, that we will have a solar flare that's going to be very disruptive as well. So there's other things brewing besides what we've been talking about, obviously, in the most recent weeks. So just wanted to let you know that I did that. Yeah, I'm feeling good about it. You guys do what feels right for you. And it's really not about fear. It's about being prudent. And that's always what the guides will say. Um, I think that's it. So we'll get into this channeling here. And I don't know how long it's going to be before I make another video. Like I said in my last quick update, in case you missed it, I'm really at their command in terms of when they want to put these videos out. They are watching the energy quite closely. It took, I was probably in meditation 20 hours for the 20 minutes of channeling that I'm going to walk you through today. This took us 4 days to get through this. It was kind of a few paragraphs here, a few there, finally wrapping it all up this morning. And so this is my first official channeled video in 6 weeks. I'm, yeah, it's just, I don't know where the time went. It's been a crazy 6.5, 7 weeks, hasn't it, guys? I hope everybody's doing amazing out there, holding down the fort, keeping it calm in the chaos. And I hope you're doing well. Let me know in the comments. I've missed you guys. Okay, here's Melchizedek, the Order of Melchizedek. Okay. We would like to go back in time, back to a time when the negative reptilian stronghold had reached its peak. Unabashed, unchallenged, unseen, and mostly unknown. We take you to the early 1980s. For those of you who remember this time, you may recall it as a great time of change. The carefree vibration brought by much of the youth in the 1970s quickly squashed, bringing about a pivot in the opposite direction toward consumerism, excess, and greed. The negative reptilians at the time knew that whatever pockets of light were trying to surface, peace, love, and harmony, could be tempered and even turned around to fall in line with their objectives. Then the 80s saw the New Age movement. Once again, higher consciousness and pockets of light wanting to shine through, wanting to take root. But its demise was inevitable, with the dark forces doing all that they could to negate the positivity of that movement. Even still, very important seeds were planted during those decades, seeds that would not die. Okay, so they're saying here, basically, the early 80s is when in the 80s is when the negative reptilians really hit their peak in terms of the control. Excuse me. Unabashed, unchallenged, unseen, and mostly unknown. Things have changed since then. Look at David Icke and all that he brought in the early 90s and is still bringing today. I'd say, too, my mom was very much a part of the New Age movement, and she was also quite the hippie. So I definitely had those seeds planted in my world directly from my mom. And bless her for that. Yeah. And then they continue here. Behind the scenes, many volunteers nurturing those seeds, quietly and carefully, helping them grow as to not spark retaliation. Right, so starting to be more stealth with how we do this. A quiet rumble in the background, imperceptible at first, growing oh so slightly with each passing moment. Through the dedication of many on many planes of existence, in many different ways, this low rumble is becoming a roar. And soon, it will be a deafening roar, one that can't easily be drowned out by distraction, by chaos, destruction, and even death. It's coming from within, they said. It's coming from without. It's the sun, it's the moon, it's the stars, it's Mother Earth herself. It's the entire cosmos and all of her inhabitants. There's a shared focus here that can no longer be dampened, negated, or pushed aside by those who wish to continue their enslavement of humanity. The bells are ringing, and they are being heard by many. It's a familiar tone. It's a calling. It is a wake-up call. And here we sit, rejoicing with the sound, knowing the time has come. The plans have been laid, programs are in motion. Let this era, this time, mark when Earth and her inhabitants decide that now is the time, dear friends. And the questions will be answered, and the critical pieces of the puzzle are coming together. Your unrequited angst, your insecurities, your knowing that there was more going on than what meets the eye, will begin to settle into a quiet knowing, a quiet resolve. And this resolve will have some permanence. There will be a steadiness here where there was once trepidation. We continue to speak to those of you who have answered the call. Not everyone has answered the call. Not everyone has even had the opportunity to know there was a calling. Please understand this and be at peace with the choices being made. Okay, guys, and then they continue here. What we're about to tell you may stretch your realms of comprehension. And we say, this is a good thing. We're here to help uncover truths that were never meant to see the light. In some ways, information coming forth will seem incomprehensible to the self, who takes comfort in predictability and safety, and a sense of control and understanding of one's experience. We help you dismantle the old roadblocks to comprehending new things, expanding your awareness and consciousness. This is a journey, dear friends, and we take it slow and deliberate. All right. We bring you to the present moment. The negative reptilian stronghold, the grip, slipping. The light's illumination, growing. In a battle to maintain as much control as possible, the dark have resorted to the most heinous of crimes against humanity. Yeah, guys, I mean, this is going to be a wild ride. Almost 3 years of playing this witness role. We're going to be bringing up everything that needs to be seen in the light, finally the truth coming out. Okay. We've crafted these words with great care, much to the chagrin of this dear one in the chair. We thank you, dear one, for your patience as we labored over how to relay such information delicately yet in a straightforward manner. Actually, I've really been working on my patience here. Now that I know that I'm not kind of beholden to this Tuesday night video schedule and that we have a little bit more fluidity in terms of when we release the videos, I'm feeling much, much better about it, to be honest. Okay, and they continue here. We do not wish to overcomplicate the message or make you have to think too hard about its meaning. We wish to be straightforward, and we do this with care. Your American President, Donald Trump, as we have previously named as the false prophet from your biblical text, was not always under the control and influence that he is today. Donald Trump, like many in these positions of power, started with noble intentions. And yet, in this moment, he is in fact playing a big role on the world stage. A despot to some, a savior for others. One thing that most would agree upon is that Donald Trump is a divisive character, and there are strong opinions in regard to who he is, what he does, and his character. Dear ones, remember that this is almost always the end game for the negative reptilian regime. Polarizing characters, polarizing ideas, a constant us versus them, finger pointing, one-upmanship, winners and losers, the right and the wrong, the misled and the uninformed, and the smart and the righteous. As long as Donald Trump is able to be the catalyst for dividing you, He's doing the work of the dark regime. The false prophet role that was envisioned, the false prophet is a role that was envisioned long before Donald Trump was born. But it was his oversoul who agreed to play this part, this critical role for the ascension of humanity. So while Donald Trump may not be consciously aware of both the dark influence that helps manipulate him, nor the role that he has chosen on this grand stage, his actions, his decisions will continue to be a polarizing force in the world. Yes, okay. This really, I think, puts it in a beautiful context. It's bringing us up here at this higher vantage point. We're not picking sides here. We are not blaming. We're not pointing fingers. We're not picking a side. We're not digging in on our beliefs and making everybody else wrong. Really think about these words. Really let them sink in, how Melchizedek is positioning this role and this person. It's a role this person is playing. In terms of this role, in support of the role of the Antichrist and all that entails for humanity, the false prophet and the Antichrist have a symbiotic relationship. The false prophet provides the Antichrist with a platform to wield his power, and also accolades and adoration that helps set an example for the rest of the world. This man is to be respected. This man is highly intelligent and knows what's best. We should follow this man and do what he says. This indeed is a critical role that Donald Trump is playing. The Antichrist. The Order of Melchizedek has previously identified the Antichrist as Elon Musk. Once again, this person started out with honorable intentions. A brilliant man with very big ideas that challenge conventional thinking, an intellect that is nearly unrivaled. And like Donald Trump, at a different level of consciousness, before this person was born into this body, there was an agreement. Right. The Antichrist, they said, in your linear time frame is in place. He is in action now. This is a monumental turning point for the whole of humanity, for the world at large. And indeed, beyond your world to other realms. It is significant, dear ones. For those of you who follow these messages, for those of you aligned to higher states of consciousness, for those of you who have raised your hand to be a witness to this unfolding, not to be wrapped up in it and carried away by it, but to be witnessing it, to be observing it. Your participation here is unique. It is different, dear ones. We understand that you do not take this lightly, for it is an important phase in this incredible journey of evolution for your species. Here is what we say to you now, dear ones. And Melchizedek continues here. The 144,000 have been activated. Most of you have awakened, some of you have not. But there's still time in your linear time frame for this great shift in consciousness. Take heed, those of you who are in our fold now. You will see and feel and imagine much strife and suffering as the human collective. These feelings will be amplified purposefully and artificially by the dark forces who operate behind the curtain. For in truth, there will be much good happening. While the world seemingly falls to its knees, don't believe this, dear ones. Don't buy into the narrative that is being spoon-fed to you as a steady drip. Okay, guys, this is really the crux of the message for today. I'm sure more to be said. We are going to see, feel, and quote unquote imagine much strife and suffering as the human collective. So we're going to see these things through the mass media, through our social media. We're going to be talking about these things with each other. I was at the grocery store today, and these things come up with the person who's checking me out. There are going to be conversations, there's going to be opinions, there's going to be this narrative being broadcast at us through all of our media outlets. And a lot of it's going to be imagined. Don't fall prey to this narrative. Don't get caught up in what's being spoon-fed to us to keep us again miserable, worried, angry, fearful, fighting each other, hating each other, divided. We don't want to play in this space, guys. We want to rise above all this, see this from this higher vantage point. All right, they continue here. Remove yourself from that creation. Focus on your immediate experience, the here and now. Be present in this moment. Let kindness rule. Let your heart be known and seen. Compassion, dear friends. You hold the whole of humanity to your bosom. It's a nurturing, loving, lifting feeling. Know that you, as a singularity, have the capacity to share this frequency with the whole world. We know you have many questions, and while all questions are valid, we invite you now to allow the mind to rest. Allow yourselves to be at peace, knowing that a much bigger program is in motion and it's all going in the right direction for your species. Take solace in the knowing that your work here is making a huge difference and will continue to be a critical component to humanity's awakening. We take these seemingly small steps together, one foot in front of the other, dear ones. Rest assured also, dear friends, that you have been training for this for a very long time, many lifetimes. It is the time of tribulation, also the time of great awakening. Behold its majesty while also maintaining a level head with a heightened vibration, an open heart, and a peace that radiates far beyond your immediate field. You are so loved, guided and protected through these times. We love you, each and every one of you, and we are humbled by what you're doing. All right, team, and that is where the channeling ended. Okay. So, obviously, there's a lot more to be said. Things that are going to really stretch our realms of comprehension. Knowing that these two men are playing critical roles in the ascension of humanity, I think really helps put everything into context here. Can you hold compassion in your hearts, even for those who are choosing sides and for those who are really suffering? Can you also see beyond the narrative that's being forced upon us? Can you see beyond that narrative? Melchizedek says there's wonderful things going on, even when it looks like the world is on its knees here, that there are wonderful things, good things happening, but we'll never hear about those things because that's not serving the negative reptilian agenda. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up for today. Remember also that Melchizedek just went through all of Revelation, talked about the Antichrist, talked about the fall of Babylon, talked about the number of the beast, the seven seals, the seven bowls. All these things were explained. The wrath of God explained as love, this overwhelming love, this outpouring of love that's going to come as humanity awakens. Okay. All right. Please join me tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific time if you can. That's going to be March 13th, 2025, for my live interview with Sharon Sananda Kumara. And again, if anybody knows X really well and can help me out, I would love you to shoot me an email if you would like to help. All right. That's it for now, team. I love you. Thanks for being here. Mwah.